Hello. I know. Perfect settings, beautifully made up face, and all prim and proper is all nice. But get used to normal living. Yeah. So because yoga is about normal everyday living. And in my location, this is how is normal ordinary living. For you, you have a different setup. What is normal for you is different from what is normal for me. Yeah. So first impressions is the best impression? I don't think so. Because you could lose out on a lot of stuff if you just go by first impressions. And also, yoga says impressions is also like seeds. They need to be regularly cleaned. Otherwise, you have beauty that lies, tells lies, tells you other things than what is the truth. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And you got to clean your eyes regularly too. They call it as Trataka. But how do you, Trataka is, may not have been thought about as and as an exercise to clean the eyes, like the windshield of a car or of a vehicle. If you don't regularly clean, you look through the windows of your eyes, and life is doomsday, all dark, and your outlook at life is not very happy, positive. And you see a problem even when there is a solution. Yeah. So you see the thorns versus looking at the rose, and you'll see a problem with the rose also. Yeah. So appreciation of life becomes a problem when uh, you don't clean your windshield. Trataka may not be seen like that because people have been reading about Trataka in textbooks and then practicing Trataka, um, perhaps not knowing why it is done. People may be thinking of it as maybe focus or concentration or several details maybe being spoken about it. But consider it is a way by which to straighten out your outlook. Otherwise, you could have wavering mind. When your eyes is doing that, um, there could be even trauma um, manifestations or repetition of traumatic thought lines because the eyes and the brain are all connected. It's not like eyes here, brain here, your body here, or somewhere. And then you definitely need to do yoga to bring it all together and keep it together. Yeah. So, in that sense, asanas, pranayama, dhyana, they all help. But there's another way to do yoga where you bring it together and keep it together without having to move a muscle. Now, I'm also saying this because I've been kind of noticing they. I heard it on social media, some forwards, that there is some virus through the financial sector. Yeah. And very interesting thought lines, a little sour. Yeah. And grief, but it's also a little bit of economic challenge, but yeah, a little bit that. And I've also been seeing, hearing a bit of it, some aspects of it in customer care relationships, in calls that they're making, and for example, even phone, mobile bill payment, customer calls related with money. Yeah, so there's a behavior related with money. There's something going through the financial sector. So I cannot really call it as a virus, but there's a certain people who are in those customer relationships. They are dealing with something, probably something that's left over from the social distancing mandate, a certain immunity concern, me versus you, something that that team or people who are dealing with money and have some gripe about it in some ways kind of showing up. So I thought, let me try and bring another aspect of yoga because each person is like money. There is human life value. And economy is also gauged by the amount of money that a person can make. Yeah. And consequently, the value of each person because of whom all they take care of and how always they add value to the system. So each person is like money. Yeah. So when you take care of the 1 rupee or the $1, one that each person is, a little bit of a gripe thing in the financial sector would also become better, is what I'm thinking. Because the human life value would be seen differently. And we would probably regard the human being slightly differently. In a more, there is more value to a human being than just a breadwinner or a money earner. Because Sanatana Dharma, or let's just say, if you're going gripe about the word Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism and all of that, let's just say the timeless wisdom of health, wealth, and wisdom, of maintaining life time sustainably. Yeah, healthy, wealthy wise. This is also from the biblical references, several textbooks. Who they put one word for it called Sanatana Dharma. Okay, okay, there are, and you bounce off of meanings from there, but let's just say we bounce off meanings. We make meanings about everything and we bounce off of them and we form a story from the meanings we make. And how is this related? Our body is a whole construct of stories. From where when we were born, all the different movements through life, it's all a whole lot of meanings and stories. We are walkie-talkie stories. And we continue to make stories by the food we eat, whom we interact with, where we sit, what we do. We are a whole bunch of stories. We are creators, basically. We at least keep creating stories. Somebody says something, you make a meaning out of it. And we have Sanatana Dharma. You made up a meaning, or somebody said this means this, and then you're stuck with, oh, this means this. And we have gripes. Yeah, you have, oh, Hinduism means this is what it looks like. Timeless wisdom of maintaining life, healthy, wealthy wise. Yeah, if you like those big sentences, fine. Yeah. I was thinking one word or a phrase, like 2 words. It's kind of easy to say, but okay. Given that we have sometimes to use big words, people have had to write textbooks to kind of encapsulate these lengthy narratives in a way that makes sense. They wrote textbooks, and people read those textbooks and connect words and dots and sentences and make meaning out of this is what yoga is and this is how yoga is done. We even have Trataka. They're all referring to the human body and how a human body can maintain life healthy, wealthy, wise. And we have a difficulty, for example, doing Trataka. That is what that makes available, why that is done. And beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, according to how well we do this thing called Trataka. Let me try and clarify my understanding of it so that we see things a little more clearly. Okay. Tra. Let's just say a twist, churn. Yeah, like a spin. They say the daily churns. Yeah, the daily grind, churn. Tra, uh, turka. Okay, let's just say ta is, how do you say this? It's not just cha or just ka. Yeah, but it's a little more firm, like terra firma. A little firm. Now, the words here, Trataka, is from a syllable, is from a way of encapsulating sounds, phonemes, and from there, meanings that's derived from there. It's like math. You combine the set of words to form a set of alphabets or sounds to form words, and words to form sentences, and then sentences, yeah, you can make stories out of it. HTML, for example, it's several codes put together, and then you click a button, and then something happens. Yeah. So similarly, when we hit upon certain meanings, certain sounds, we tend to then derive meanings from there based on past experiences. It's like a software running. Code, code, code. You learned a, for example, in one language, and then in another language. So two different constructs. How your brain then adds layers over it. Yeah, sounds become words, become sentences. And then the construct of what you've made about different things based on sounds is also depending on the language you listen to, what you've learned. So your brain's wiring is accordingly. So you hear a word and the churning machine goes on. Yeah. So this is what it means, and hence, and then consequently, this means this. You say this, this means this. Yeah. It's like output. Click that word you heard, this meaning, and then you'll react from here. So you mean this. So like, wait. What did you make of what I said? And only then when you kind of trace the entire pathway that had you arrive at this is when you say that is not what I meant. And I'm like, okay, what did you mean? Yeah. So we're meaning making machines. And we sometimes just react from a word, from preconceived notions. Yeah. And we also are like electronic, yeah, like electric, negative charged particles. Our emotions are just ready for reaction. Yeah, charges. Yoga, what I'm calling as movementless yoga, helps to contain the matter. So it's like water, instead of free radicals or charged particles, positive, negative, it all gets kind of becomes nice molecules. Yeah. So you're not having free radicals ready for free radicals also cause cancer. Yeah. So if you're not managing the positive and negative charges and then containing the matter, you're a reaction waiting to happen. Yeah. Just ready for a reaction. You say something, we make meanings and yeah. So what is your human life value? Like you being one, your reaction waiting to happen. So what kind of an electrical circuit are you? Yeah. So how healthy are you? Yeah, it's just one little trigger, somebody just say something and oh, there, like fireworks, and then watch the fun. Yeah. So you're a puppet show, no? So you need a little bit of movementless yoga to help to contain the matter. You can have fun, and then you can turn around the matter. Yeah. Because otherwise, people also eat different kinds of food, and they're upping their charge. Power. Switch on the button, power goes on. Yeah. And then one reaction is happening. You want to be just a electrical circuit. Yeah. In which case, your electromagnetism needs a little bit of containment so that you're functioning on fine. You have four forces: electromagnetic force, gravitational force, the gravitas of the matter, that who you are, your worth, your weight. Yeah. Strong force, keeping the complementary opposites together so you're not just going through fission or fusion reactions. Yeah. Strong force, keeping it all together. Very nice. Weak force. So there is a little bit of decaying. If the decaying is not happening, preconceived notions, the stories that you have been living life by, they are not really slowly going through changes, such that the new cells are forming, new meanings are forming. Life is rejuvenating, being all happy, nice, healthy, wealthy, wise. Otherwise, you're running the same stories over and over, like vegetables. Yeah, if they're not slowly over time decaying, you like make food. Just to cook a nice fresh stuff. Otherwise, you're eating a little. It's already moving. Yeah, the time is moving. So you look at vegetables, you know that. So it's nice to have healthy things, not just from packaged stuff. So you know how time is moving, and then you're eating present moment fresh stuff. And then this cyclical processes of life that your body is also going through. You're not just one stuff, one fixed stuff. You're also moving through changes. Then to recalibrate your body clock rhythms such that you're maintaining fresh and relevant and beautiful. Otherwise, you're running old stories. Yeah, like we've heard this. Yeah, there are movies, there are these things happening regularly. There's nothing new happening, and people are like, so what's new? Yeah. So you have something new happening. That's nice. So this is how you have fresh stuff showing up. So if you've already heard all of this before, then maybe you should clean your ears or the meanings you've made. It's like the header needs cleaning. The cassette tape, that used to be the case. It would get a little not so moving fine, or goes a little too glidey. So these old cassette tapes, they had to clean the header every now and then. So You need to clean your working memory, yeah, or your memory systems and the meaning systems. Otherwise, you're functioning by old data, yeah, and not able to take the new stuff because you're already functioning. We know that, yeah. So, how to do that is also what I call as metabolism, yeah. Like when metabolism is good, lifestyle diseases go a little down. So, metabolism involves catabolism, metabolism, anabolism. It's not just, yeah. So, destruction, maintenance, and destruction, maintenance, creation. Yeah. Like Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they say. Yeah. Or the three kings, meanings from them. But okay, let's just say creation, preservation, destruction. Yeah. And preservation, when you do movementless yoga, has another function called as elisobolism. Like catabolism is like destruction, metabolism is like transformation, yeah, from one form to another, such that the carrot is then more proteins, carbohydrates, yeah, different things, and then that can be further broken down, and then from there the body makes cells, tissues, organ systems. So anabolism is the making the proteins, fat, carbohydrates into body tissues. Right? In this catabolism to metabolism, yeah, carrot to protein, fat, carbohydrates, there is another function which is possible. I call it elisobolism. Which is upgrading the quality. Otherwise, it's the same amino acids, the same fatty acids. If you're having HDL, yeah, or cholesterol, bad cholesterol, good cholesterol, amino acids there, your genetic material is also forming these proteins. For example, the DNA is then coding proteins, for example, to then digest the carrot into those body friendly material. Yeah. When you're doing movementless yoga, it's possible to update the quality of the processor, DNA also, and also the different metabolic processes. For example, telomeres. When there's a lot of stress, telomeres function a little not so fine. Yeah, we're going to that. And when you're updating, for example, you're reducing stress, then the genetic functions, the biofeedback is saying, okay, stress over. Yeah, the clog is like a sink. There's clog. Unless you clean the clog, stuff is not functioning so well. Yeah. And when you remove all that, things are functioning again better. Yeah, that's also called, I can't say metabolism, but it's also cleanup. It's also called tattva shuddhi. The essence. A body is also formed from earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space. When you improve the content of it, for example, the stories that's then the earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space, which also then forms our body. Yeah. When you improve the stories, then earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space are all happy. They are happy spirits. Yeah. Otherwise, you're having Gisa Pita Kahaniyas. Your stories are like, and the creations you make. Yeah, you also have doomsday things and you want to fly off to Mars. I had to say that because that's like the more obvious icon. People look at, oh, stars. Yeah. I keep looking at what's happening on Earth. And here there are people all, planning to make colonies on Mars. And I was thinking, have you kind of seen pictures of Mars? Yeah, have you looked at Earth, at the planets? So I'm thinking people are having doomsday thoughts. That's because they don't clean their own body or they're having inflammation and they're making stories out of it. And so this is how life is, or yeah. And we have financial gripes and all that stuff and economic challenges, health, wealth, wisdom challenges. So there's a whole bunch of news, yeah. So how do you go about it? It helps to pay attention to the chest area and notice that your lungs expand and contract while you're breathing. So there's some awareness involved here. There's some mindfulness involved here. There's also some present moment appreciation. For example, the lungs expand and contract in the present moment. It's not in the past. It's from you being aware of the lungs expanding and contracting that you're mindful of the physical sensation from inside your body of your lungs expanding and contracting. For that, you may have to pay attention to your diaphragm, which is moving up and down, or your ribs expanding, contracting, from the lungs inside pushing the ribs. Yeah. And ribs then kind of, it's a tension system, maintains a softness and tension, but both are working together. And then inside the rib cage is not just the lungs, but also the heart. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of nervous and capillaries, arteries, veins. Yeah. And fascia, and then there's blood and many kinds of liquids and muscles and a lot of things involved. Also, skin of cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, the whole body I'm talking about. But they're all finely related. The sympathetic nervous system connects all these different organs and have them all function as one body. Yeah. So there's a system, there's the nervous system, part of the nervous system that keeps the whole body functioning as one body, but also kind of maintaining the stories that is our body. The nerves also makes meanings and then maintains the story, unless the story proves. And healthy natural breathing, movementless yoga, is about having the nerves breathe also. There is cells breathing, muscles breathing, tissues. But let's just say our nerves, sympathetic nervous system at least, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, they maintain the whole story of our body, where cells, tissues, organs, organ systems are all talking to each other, and not in variance, in which case that will be the case when there's a disease. And then to have different parts of the body talking to each other such that it's one unit. Yeah. And then to improve the relationship between the person, people around, what they think of you, they may think of you differently. So your liver will hold one story about what people think of you or what you think of people or about life. Your pancreas is holding another story. Your intestines are holding another story. And all these stories need to talk to each other. Otherwise, they are like people in one family having their own opinions. Yeah, it's like oddballs in one under one roof. Solar system, different planets, Earth, life, Jupiter, Saturn. You get the idea. And everybody need to be in agreement so that everybody is healthy, wealthy, wise. Yeah, you're still in different stages of having humanity across the solar system. Yeah, and we all function by light, so we can have a little more enlightenment. Yeah. So slowly, slowly, yeah, I'm kind of beginning to enlighten or less heavy the matter. And so our weight concerns also come down. Yeah, metabolism becomes better, and then lifestyle diseases now come down, and we can squirm a little less difficulty. Yeah, we'll be finer. Now, when you say fine, fine and finance are all related. Yeah. Now, 1 rupee or the one comes okay, like 0 and 1 is you're not having meaning differences between 1 is good or 0 is bad. Yeah. Okay. I haven't said that. 0 1 is also, for example, artificial intelligence. Depends on the codings of it. Yeah. So we don't want to just be between 0 and 1, dig da da. No. So if you have to improve the codes by which we um, code our life or the stories of our life, we need to have a better mathematics. How we connect meanings and alphabets and numbers and vectors, directions. So it's a whole set of math that is maritime intelligence, mighty. I just call it mighty because it's MITI. It's small, easy to say. Yeah. And over time, when you understand what maritime intelligence is, then that would have more meanings. Otherwise, like, yeah, never heard of it. I don't know what to make of it. So, like babies, you give something they don't like, they will. So their acceptability may be a little, having a little challenge. So I'm kind of slowly improving the meaning of what meristem intelligence is. So let's begin with mighty. Or just have the experience of movementless yoga. Over time, you'll get to see you're talking about the tree of life. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay. Like a seed grows to a tree. Yeah, we are all from one seed, sperm or ovum. Yeah, coming together to form a human body. Yeah, so we are like seed of fertilized egg, seed of life. And then over time, we grow into a tree. Yeah. So what does that look like? Us being us, each of us, me being me, you being you. And we are not the same trees. We all look human, but I mean, we are all human, have a body that's human, look human, but we may be functioning as animals or plants or microbes or insects. Yeah. The behavior will talk about what kind of a human you are. So if you haven't contained your positive and negative charges, that'll tell you you're an animal and which kind of an animal or plant or, yeah, you get the idea. And becoming a humane human being requires yoga. So the animals, plants, insects is like the forest of life is functioning as the garden of life. Inside all beautiful, not having yeah, or you something happens and then you go yeah. It'll tell you if you're having a garden or a forest. Yeah, you're a walkie-talkie forest or a garden. Okay. Having said that, if you can pay attention to the movement of your lungs in your chest, if you can be aware, okay. So I could say this stuff from the beginning of this video to now because I am constantly aware of the internals of my body, the expansion, contraction of my lungs, the muscles, tissues of my body from inside. I'm aware of the comfort or discomfort from inside. While I'm speaking, while I can, for example, feel the air that's a kind of cool at this time of the day, and that I'm speaking to a screen, the actions that I'm making, so the movements that my hand is making, which means I'm aware of the voluntary movements, motor, and the sensory. So motor nerves and sensory nerves, these are two nerves by which body functions. Yeah, there's information going to and fro the brain and different parts of the body. So I'm aware of the voluntary movements and the involuntary. For example, there is the beating of the heart, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic has been called as a fight of flight nervous system. Involuntary, autonomic nervous system. It's not something that you control, but has an effect from what you do affects the sympathetic nervous system. And that's how the body's story is also formed. They're all keeping it together in a healthy body. Yeah. And parasympathetic is the rest and digest nervous system. So you could be, when the parasympathetic nervous system is not functioning as well, you could be going about your emotions, yeah, fight and flight. But you may not be able to rest and digest the matter, in which case what you're eating is not getting transformed into better stories, into better meanings, into better metabolic processes, such that what you're eating is getting converted into protein, iron, different stuff that then makes your blood, yeah, the health of your body. So you could be having lifestyle diseases because of an imbalance between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. Yeah, so that's one way to say, how am I saying this? Because as I'm saying this, I'm aware of inside and outside. And because I'm speaking to a screen, not to a person, how I interact, what I say, the cycles by which I'm saying is consistent with I'm not speaking with a person, I'm speaking to a screen. Yeah. So there's that difference. So I may have to make 60-second shots from this, but to make sense, right now it's just one video, but why this is in this order is because um, even if it's, say, one person, I would be speaking to one person, but that may not be what another person would like to hear or is ready or what their body physiology is going through. So I would need to speak with many people. So then, say in a room full of people, what I speak, how I speak would be different, or what the content of what I'm speaking would be different. So it becomes understandable for many people. Yeah, because each person is their own nervous composition, their own stories. Body is one structure of stories. Yeah, and how we make meanings about everything, anything and everything that's coming out of my mouth is you keep churning and processing, and yeah. So okay, in this video, as I'm speaking, if in some way your nervous system has in some way gone either through boring or a little bit rest or a little bit snoozed up or um, feels a little different, it is also because I'm aware of what's happening inside my body and then speaking from those rhythms, which is more a little fine balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic. Yeah. So, and there's improvement is the biggest room in a house. Yeah. So we can keep getting better. But there is something that I'm practicing as I'm speaking this. And maybe as you're watching this video, you would be better too, because we also function by mirror neurons. So what's happening in my body is in some way, also maybe in some way affecting you, such that you're also in some way more regulated. Yeah. So there is this advantage over the video, but in person, when I'm speaking with you specifically, what becomes possible would be different. It will be more specific to you. Yeah, because what comes out of my mouth also then informs our system. Okay, so I will pause for now. If this video has you feel any better, um, you're a better, 1 person, rupee one. So the stories, it's also called policies. Yeah, we have our own life policies, life sentences, belief systems. So the policy that is our body, the story narratives, as it becomes better, what meanings you make, how you go about your daily activities, is likely to add more value than the same old stories and yeah, for me in my life. Maybe a little more coordinated, held together, and less reactive. While there is heavy stuff, and yeah, maybe over time, as you listen to these videos or interact with me, the heavy stuff becomes better digested. So then the stories held in different parts of your body, liver, pancreas, intestines, for example, they become enlightened, less heavy. And life becomes more pleasanter or nicer to interact. Yeah. And you can also speak nice things. And then your creatives is more, oh, why you do what you do is becomes more interesting. Yeah. More like springtime. Yeah. Like springtime. There's nice flowers. Yeah. Beautiful. Fresh. Yeah. So we regularly metabolize and then we become better. So those kinds of benefits is possible from movementless yoga. Yeah, like Earth is not striking poses. Yeah, different asanas. So Earth is doing something, which I'm also talking about in terms of fine balance between Prakriti and Purusha. That yoga between Prakriti and Purusha makes a big difference in how health is experienced, wealth is experienced, wisdom is experienced, but also how you heal health, Health, degree of healing, how you heal, and wealth, Wealth, it can also be Well, but wealth, yeah. We'll have to kind of break down the word into alphabets. In English alphabets, each of these words, alphabets, have their own meanings. It's like codes. When this one turns a little bit, this one moves slightly different. So when the words are meaning, the letters are meaning something, what from the letters, the words that form, they turn slightly different. So I call it mais. So I, I kind of clarified a little bit on what the English alphabet is. So it's more nicer. Yeah. It's less traumatizing. So I will make some videos about that. But Shabdakosha Shuddhikaran, the words, the sounds we make, that also, when we are speaking in a particular manner, that also brings things together. Otherwise, we could have inflammatory language. You're saying one thing, but something else is happening and it's triggering somebody else. It gets disharmonious. And consequently, from there, the stories we make of life, what something happened, and then what we make of it, and then how we arrive at solutions. So, and why you do things based on the narrative of how you write, frame the problem, also then gives you the pros and cons of the solutions. You may not have seen the fine details of the problems, and then you've already begun with solutions, or the solutions are from the problem you see it. You see, this is a problem, when that may not um, be the harmonizing problem. Okay, let me just paraphrase. I'll just go there. When you see the problem in the right perspective as something that is disharmonizing, when you identify a problem as something that is disharmonizing, and then you find the solution that then brings harmony, that is when a problem resolves. Otherwise, you would think, oh, this is not working, and then you fix it. And then the fixture may not be adding to the harmony of it. And then you have, excuse expression, artificial intelligence. This is connecting with this is connecting, and you have hallucinatories, you have problems. It's not functioning as well as it's kind of having a little bezel, a little drag here. Yeah, it's not functioning as smooth. You get the idea? How you put the pieces of the puzzle together, the codes together, and the narratives you make. When you're not having those points of reference, that frame of reference by which harmony can be seen. Yeah, versus the drama versus winner triad. Drama is victim, perpetrator, rescuer. Triad, winner triad is vulnerability, caring, assertiveness. But you could get too much into oh, winner, winner to the exclusion of what drama is making available. You could make drama bad, or you could make the winner oh good, which means positive is good, negative is bad. And they all have a role to play. So when you're seeing there's a problem because something is not harmonious yet. We're in different stages of becoming better. We're all on Earth. The solar system has other planets. The solar system is part of the Milky Way galaxy. And we are still searching for signs of life in the universe. Yeah? The multiverse. Okay. Let's just say out there in space. Yeah? Um, so we have a lot of, like, since the Big Bang, I kind of noticed that Earth is the only planet that we have found life on. I'm thinking Earth has a job of eliminating life in the multiverse, like reverse transcription. Now that we are born, what do we do by which our actions, our thoughts, what we do, how we function, then eliminates life in the multiverse. Springtime, all beautiful. And that means there is the dukkha and the sukha. Yeah. And we have work. We need to be able to identify the dukkha, the drama bit, and also identify the winner bit. So which works, which doesn't work? We have work, but we need to document and chart, and these are the signs of the drama. And to say, and these are signs of the winner, yeah, that then is other than drama, yeah. And then we need to see how much of the solution that we have arrived at, how much of problem there is in the solution that needs to be identified. And the problem that we've identified, how much of it is actually, the harmony. You've identified what is causing the disharmony versus just call as, oh, problem, problem, problem. You see, we need to discern which is the harmonizing. Identify this. The lack of a solution in this is what is maintaining the disharmony. To identify that, and then what solution will then bring harmony, and then to look at, oh, the solution, how much of a problem is there in the solution? So we need to collate the solutions, we need to collate the problems, and then sort things better. So signs of health of life. It's not just signs of life. So life is also a fine balance. It's a harmony between several complementary aspects. Earth, everything is connected with everything in their own ways. Yeah. Like a body has sympathetic and parasympathetic. When we are breathing healthier naturally, one aspect of Earth, the other aspect of Earth. So we're not having earthquakes, volcanoes, and all of that. Yeah. Because you're all like Earth's nervous system, kind of finding the fine balances and the breathing healthier naturally. And so the fabric of time space has been healing since some time. And we have WHO's global list of diseases, which means over time we've sorted out many stuff. What works, what doesn't work. Yeah. And then we've made a list and then addressing one problem after the other. Yeah. To the point that now I'm speaking about this. Yeah. So it's taken some time for us to be talking or listening or yeah, even me making this video, it's taking time. But when we are, say, discussing more, it becomes easier for all of us to do what is possible from having a body that's human, from being a rupee, being the one. Each one of us is money. Yeah. You're an asset who can turn things around for also earth, life. So how can, from just having a body that's human, how can we turn around our health, wealth, wisdom concerns? Yeah. So I hope this video gives you pause for thought. In this video, there is not just the words that I'm speaking, but also there are certain frequency energy vibrations, which is also captured by the video. That's also there to analyze what is working, what not working, that kind. But I'm teaching this. How am I improving my harmony, yeah, from my system, such that becoming a better, humane human being. Yeah. I hope this gives you pause for thought, and you will contact me anytime soon because it's nicer to talk. We're all on the same planet. We have talking, hearing, we have our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, knowing, sense and sensibilities. And let's engage and have nice conversations. Yeah. Humanity across boundaries. Yeah. Nice things become possible. Yeah. So thank you so much for your kind interest. Good day.